America, how we doing today? We are out here at the shop. Here we go. And right there's the new home, right over there. Let's turn you around here. How y'all doing today? Look at that. Cut my hair, shaved my beard, went back to the mustache. Thumbs up and thumbs down on that. You like the mustache, good, thumbs up. If you don't like that I shaved it all off, thumbs down, whatever. So, and we got the whole crew out here. And Pam, she's over there trying to do her taxes. And this is Sadie, and this is Chloe. Right there, Chloe. They're both Australian, full-blood Australian Shepherd. And she's a full size, and she's a full-blood Australian Shepherd toy or a mini. She's a toy. So she's a toy, and then me, I'm, you know, mixed breed everything. I'm a mutt. So, oh shoot, didn't have you locked in good. There we go. Oh, so how we all are, I've been, what has it been, 2 weeks almost? Over 2 weeks. It's been over 2 weeks since I've done a video, since I've done a live stream. Just been super busy, just moving and just trying to get the bus finished up, the last few little nicks and, you know, little small things. And we moved on Wednesday last week. Was the actual move date. Of course, we've been moving for 3 months, but preparing for the move and all that. But it's been about on Wednesday, we hired some movers to come over and get the big furniture, the refrigerator, the washer and dryer, the bedroom suite, the dining room, all that stuff. The big stuff that's too big for me to pick up by myself. And how long we got there for? 3 hours?
It took them 3.5 hours.
Three and a half hours, and they charged what, about $650 or something like that. So, and with tip and everything, about $750 to move everything, which, you know, is okay. So anyway, so we moved everything out here on Wednesday, and because of that, there was nothing at the house. There was no bed or anything like that. We still could take showers at the house and all that, but we there's no bed and everything, so we started sleeping in the bus out here Wednesday night. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's been 5 nights we spent in the bus. What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Pam doesn't want to be on camera too much, so she's over there doing her taxes and she's kind of busy. Last day trying to get those taxes done. That's how busy we've been. You know, trying to get things packed up and everything. So, but thumbs up, thumbs down on the sleeping arrangement. She's giving me a go to hell look.
Okay.
So what?
It's okay.
You sleep good?
Yes.
Comfortable mattress?
It's all right.
It's all right. Okay, it better be. It's one of those memory foam mattresses. So, but are you getting warm enough?
Yeah.
Been too cool, too hot, too cold?
It was cold last night.
Last night you got down to about 47, 48 degrees last night. You know,
It was cold before.
and but just sitting around in the living room area watching TV and stuff. Actually, we sat out here. Going over, I made some changes here in the shop too. Let's go around and show you. There's the workbench and all that same. Nothing's changed there. But we took this table out that was right here. Had all like scrap metal and stuff like that. Oh, speaking of scrap metal, we got all that stuff gone. Got all that scrap metal come picked up. But I took this table that was sitting right here and I moved it over there, cleaned it up and put it over there. We've got a dog kennel underneath. Don't really put them in the kennel, but they like to. It's like a little cave for them. They like to curl up in there. They feel secure in there at night. And then there's the big TV from the house. It's 65, I think, about 65-inch TV. And we've got the internet out here now. I've got Starlink, and this is some leftover, you know, stuff we just don't have room for, places to put stuff. It's food we need to use up. So we've got this tub is full of food and dog food and everything over there, but this is all human food, dog water, dog food, dog treats in here. Just things like paper towels and stuff that are out in the garage now. We don't have a place to put it. And this over here, this is some paperwork she's been needing for going through her taxes and all that, so we kept it here in the office, in the shop. But full of human food, It's just, you know, stuff that was in the pantry and just don't have enough room in the bus. So we'll try to eat up some of that while we're staying out here for the next month or so. There's a cooler, a freezer. We plugged it in, so my solar runs all the time now. So let's turn you back around. So that's what we've done here in the shop as far as living arrangements for the time being. Think of it here. We're not living in the shop. We're not whatever. Think of it as this is our campsite for about a month. Okay. And the reason why a month? Well, hopefully about 3 or 4 weeks from now, I'll be getting that call from Wisconsin and going up and doing one of those jobs up there in Wisconsin. So in the meantime, ain't no sense of traveling and all over the country. The weather is perfect around here right now. It's 75, 80 degrees during the day. Gets down in the 50s. You know, last night was 47, but night was it Friday night or I think it was Friday night. It was a little warm. There was breeze out of the south, and it brought up a bunch of humid, warm air. So it was like 70 degrees and fairly sticky. You know, it wasn't terrible, but it was enough to notice. And so that night I was a little hot and whatever. She felt fine. And like last night, I was very comfortable, and she said she was chilly. You know, I was sitting around in shorts and a t-shirt watching TV, and she's over under a blanket freezing for some reason. I don't know. You know, she's a woman. They don't like cold that much, I guess. I don't know. What is it? She's ignoring me. She's working.
Being cold makes you tense up, and it makes
Okay.
my muscles hurt.
So anyway, so we moved out here in the bus. I'm going to go over and show you that. The bus is finished, technically finished. Now there's a few little minor things that I'm going to tinker with and here and there, like a spice rack and things like that. But the bus is what I would consider completely finished now. Okay, and we're moved in, and the last several days I've been tweaking little things here, you know, trying to find the right floor rugs to throw on the floor, you know, get the right ones laid out to where it covers the floor well, and learning where to store things, where to tuck things away, you know. And believe it or not, we actually, out of all those kitchen drawers, they still have 2 of them that are totally empty. So I got enough kitchen storage, and got a, well, how big's that TV that's in there? 32 inch, something like that maybe. Yeah, about a 32-inch TV was in her bedroom, is out in the bus now, and it's mounted. We're driving down the highway; it'll just stay right where it's at. It's mounted on some pipe. So unless I hit one huge bump, that thing ain't going nowhere. So got me some new readers, and I like these things. Maybe they don't look that good, but they're multi-focus. Okay, so when I look up right through the glass right up here, it's almost no magnification here. You get down to there, and it's like I think 1.5 on these, and it slowly transitions. So if I want to look far away, I can look through the top and actually see, like, that house over there is pretty close to in focus. But when I tilt back, now it's way out of focus because the magnification is down the bottom. They're not transitions; they're multi-focus or something like that. I really like them, man. They work really well because I can sit there on my computer and look up at the TV, and I can still see the TV well, and I look down here and I can see the screen and the keyboard real well. So reading glasses, really like those. Liked them so much I got 3 more. So what else? Trying to think what else. Maybe I'll read a few comments, and then we'll go out and check out the bus. So, here and read some of this stuff. Okay, let's see. Wonder Chasing Horizons. We're excited for you too. Can't wait to see you on the road. Yep, that will be. If everything works out the way I'm hoping this year. Like I said, we'll be around here for about a month, and the weather's nice in Texas in the spring. It's beautiful right now. The blue bonnets are all blooming right now. It's beautiful. Perfect weather. A little bit breezy, but that's Texas. It's usually got a little bit of a breeze around here. It's supposed to rain Thursday, so we'll see if there's any leaks in the bus. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed on that. Well, we'll stick around here for 3 or 4 more weeks or whatever until I get that call from Wisconsin and they say, hey, we've got a tour for you. Okay, great. That's what I'm hoping for. Don't know one way or another on that yet. But we'll go up to Wisconsin, maybe work for 2, 3, maybe even 4 months. Just depends on what tour I get. Go up there and do that tour during the summer when it's hot, okay? And once that tour is done, then we'll come back down to Texas. It'll probably be mid-August or hopefully the end of August or something like that, roughly. We'll come down here and get in the bus and we'll hightail it to Colorado, someplace cool, okay? Or maybe around that time, Kirk's ready for harvest help, so maybe we'll head up to Kansas and do fall harvest with Kirk up there on the farm. Don't know. It's all just kind of, these are possibilities. Nothing written in stone, nothing, you know, it's just all penciled in kind of stuff, but it's not even penciled in. It's just kind of thought about. So anyway, if that all works out, go to Kansas and do fall harvest, that'll get us up till Halloween, and then we'll come back down here for November and December for Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know, the holidays. And right after Christmas, then we'll hightail it out to Arizona, and we'll be out there for the winter. So that's kind of, hopefully that's the way it works out. Don't know. If I don't get that job from Wisconsin, then we'll probably wait around here until it gets hot. And she'll be like, oh, it's beautiful now. I'm like, oh, I'm sweating my butt off. I hate this. It's hot, so let's go. So we'll pack up and we'll head probably north up into Colorado or Utah or somewhere up in that direction. So anyway, so far, everything's been working out well. The solar panels have been working well. She's got one of these air fryers that everybody loves. We've got one of these air fryers at the house. We brought it out here and plugged it in out here in the shop. Now my shop, I've got 1,200 watts of solar on the shop, which come over to a 3,000. A charge controller, a 200 amp hour battery. I don't have a big battery here because I don't really use it that much other than for lights. And then during the day when the sun's out, all that will power all the power tools and the table saw and all that. And it'll power it at night too, but not for very long. But just for lights and everything, it's more than enough. I've got a 200 amp hour battery, comes up to a 300 watt inverter, and that powers the shop. Well, we plugged the air fryer into the shop, and it was right around sundown. It's probably about 8 o'clock or so, and the sun was down. It was still light outside, but the sun was over there so far that it wasn't hitting the panels at all. And ran the batteries down, ran that fryer for about an hour cooking a chicken, and run that battery way down, almost, you know, kind of dangerously low. Didn't realize it at the time. So we don't do that no more. So the next, we had all these chickens in the freezer, in the deep freezer, trying to get rid of, trying to use them up. So that was, I don't know, Thursday night, I guess, and then Saturday night we cooked another one, but we plugged it into the bus, which is a huge battery bank on the bus, and didn't even phase it. So it dropped it from from about 98% down to about 88%, about 10% of the battery, using it for an hour, so it didn't bother it at all. But this little battery here in the shop, it wasn't enough. So, and then of course I've got all the solar that's in the van too. So got a lot of power around here. So, but not enough to run like a air conditioner here in the shop or whatever. We don't need one. We plan on being here when it's hot. So anyway, I'm reading a few more comments. I only got one read, and let's see here. These are blurry. I'll wipe them off. All right, let's see here. Yeah, air fryer needs to be run a few times. Yeah, well, we've used it for, how long you had that thing? Almost 2 years probably. So yeah, no problem there. Don't know what that means. Sasnak, life is agreeing with you, man. You look great. Well, thank you, Dashhound. Thank you. And yeah, things are, all this stuff that we've been planning and thinking about and whatever is finally all rolling around and coming true and working well. We haven't had any major obstacles like oh man, that ain't gonna work, you know. So everything so far has worked according to plan. Okay? Why don't you just apply for your Social Security and you don't have to work? Pat, I'm not old enough to get Social Security. I'm only 58. So I got a few more years. I'm going to wait till I'm 67 before I do Social Security. Because of the type of work I've done over the years, I've had so many write-offs in the trucking business. You know, I make a certain amount of money, but I can write so much stuff off. By the time, after the taxes are all figured out, it makes it look like I'm fairly poor, you know, and it's just the way the tax systems work, you know. When you depreciate the vehicles and stuff like that, you know, it's just, you make this much money And you figure the tax is down here, then my tax lady, she gets a hold of it and dumps it way down to here, and it makes it look like I make $30,000 a year or something, which, you know, isn't right, but that affects how much you pay into Social Security. And over the years, I really haven't paid that much into Social Security, so I'm not gonna get that much. So I'm gonna wait until I'm about 67 to actually start drawing it, and we'll just see. Come 62, maybe things will change. But my idea right now is wait till 67, which is 9 years from now. Okay. Anyway, Pam, she's getting her retirement money and stuff like that, so you know she's got her money. That's why I still got to go work. You know, I'll make some money. Unless are you gonna pay all the bills, dear?
Nope.
Nope. You gonna buy my food for me?
I'll feed you.
She'll feed me, she says. Well, that's all you really need, I guess. Okay. Anyway. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go, Scott. Yeah, if we even have a country by then. Hey, if we survived 8 years of Obama, we can survive a couple more years of Biden. So, well, a Biden-Obama. So, this country's more resilient than you think. I'm not too worried about that. Now, of course, with that, you got to fight back all the time. You got to fight them, keep them at bay the best you can. Oh, let's see here. Trying to read through some of these. Some of these don't, y'all just talking amongst yourselves. I'm just trying to find a comment that maybe, give me something to talk about. I like that you went back to the mustache look. Okay, all right, Kim. Yeah, I just figured I'll do the beard in the winter, and during the summer, it just, for heat, beards are warm and no beards are a little cooler. Am I planting anything this year, like tomatoes or something? Okay, for one, I don't like tomatoes. I mean, if it's you got a hamburger and it's got a slice of tomato on it, fine. But to sit there and take it, my mom and dad, they take tomatoes and eat them off the vine, just like an apple, a little sprinkle of salt. Tomatoes to me, and I love all the tomato products, ketchup, salsa, pico de gallo, all that kind of stuff. Your tomato-based salsas and spaghetti, anything like that. So tomato soup, I love anything made, but just a plain tomato. When you bite into it, to me, it's like biting into snot. I don't know why. It's slimy, and I just don't like it. So I don't care for tomatoes. But as far as planting a garden or something, we don't plan on being here. We plan on being out on the road, either working in Wisconsin or up in Colorado. So who's going to tend to the garden, and then who's going to harvest it when it's ready? So who's going to water it and all that? So yeah, no plans on that. But we could decide to stay here year round or something. We'd always put a garden out there. Yeah, I could easily turn this into an off-grid domicile type place. Yeah, y'all talking about Bud Light. And that sucks because I like Budweiser. I like to drink Budweiser beer. I don't really care for the Bud Light, but just regular Bud, red can Bud, I like that. And what is wrong with these companies, whatever. Just, God. Okay. Okay, Roy Anderson, you have a good setup. I sold my house last year, and now I'm full-time, now living full-time. No regrets, very happy. I assume living full-time in the RV or something like that. Okay. Am I still in touch with Taco Joe or Mr. or Mrs. G? I sent on Easter. I sent them a Happy Easter text, and they responded back. Happy Easter back. But I haven't actually talked to them on the phone in several months. Just busy, and No, I haven't. There's no reason. I just haven't. Got around to it, I guess. Haven't really been in touch with anybody with that convoy. Anybody that was in the convoy. The last person I talked to that was in the convoy, I think, was Joe, and it was probably at least 2 months ago. You know, probably around January, somewhere along in there, maybe. Yeah, no, Pat. I'm only 58. Now I'm not ready for Social Security. A couple more, about 4 more years before I can even apply. Oh. I own a restaurant bar. Yeah, Nick Clausen. I own a restaurant bar, and we had 112 cans of Budweiser left. We shot them up with the 308 yesterday. It felt good. Oh, mercy. We need some cooking videos from the bus like I used to do in the truck. You hear that? You got to do some cooking videos. These people want cooking videos in the bus. Okay. She's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. So, what kind of engine is in the bus? A Detroit or a Cat? No, it's a Cummins. It's the 5.9 12 valve Cummins motor. The one that was in the early Dodge pickups. Back in the 90s, the Dodge pickup had they put the Cummins 5.9 liter diesel motor in there. And the early ones were a 12 valve, all mechanical motor. That's what this one is, okay? And then years later, they went to the 24 valve electronics motor. And then eventually went to, from a 5.9, they went up to a 6 point something. I think they're up 6.4. And I think they're up to a 6.7 now or something like that in the new Dodge pickups. But they're all electronic. They got all that emissions crap. This is pre-emission, but it's also pre-electronic. It doesn't have any, it's a mechanical motor. So yeah, that's why I searched that bus out. When I found that bus, the price was a little higher than I was hoping to pay. But when I saw the mileage and the motor and everything, I'm like, that's it, buddy. That's it. That's the one I want. So, at least mispronounce my name for the camera. Zactron? I'll go with Zactron. B-Z-A-K-A-T-R-O-N. I'm gonna say the B is silent, and I'm gonna go with Zacatron. Zacatron, something like that. Don't know. I'll mispronounce your name there. I just did it. How do you do? All right. Yeah, there you go. A Hot Rod D. Budweiser isn't an American company anymore. It's owned by a corporation in Belgium. Yeah, you're right. I was listening to the news the other day, and some big conglomerate over in Europe, I think Belgium, bought them out. And Budweiser is not even owned American anymore. But so I don't know. Maybe I'll search around for a different brand of beer. It's sad because I always thought of, when you think of Americana, you think how was baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, and I always thought of Budweiser in that group too, But anyway, it's the world's changing, the new world order, that's what it's all about, the new world order crap. Let's see. All right, well, let's see. Yeah, Pamela doesn't have the fear of the camera thing. She's just busy right now and doesn't want to be bothered with. She's trying to get her taxes. The last day she got to get these taxes done. She's been putting it off. And I have mine done last week. I finally got mine back from mine are more complicated than hers, so I have an accountant do mine, and she got them back last week, I guess, and I got my taxes all paid up, ready done. Didn't have to do an extension this year. Usually I have to do an extension because it takes me so long to get stuff in. But Pam, just being busy and everything, she's been putting that off, and she's over studying away right now. Hopefully she can get it all done. And the thing, she was sitting there talking about the extension. She said she got to looking on the paperwork for the extension. the amount of information you got to put on the extension, you might as well just do your taxes. You know, you have to put so much stupid stuff for the extension. I guess I've never done an extension. My accountant does all that stuff for me. So now anyway, let's see. Yeah, shop looks kind of empty without the bus in here. Yeah, it's nice being able to walk around out here and do things. So been, you know, play fetch with the dogs and stuff like that. So. Yeah, Randy D. If your account is anything like my brother's, he takes his extra dollars into separate IRA and then pays his taxes. He pays quarterly and only to dump another $2,000 in taxes on operator. Now, yeah, that's one of the things that, as far as owner operator versus company driver, yeah, the owner operator has a lot more risk as far as, you know, motor blowing up or something, you know, or having an accident and getting sued and all that kind of stuff. Company drivers are a little bit more, there's less risk involved as far as that goes. But owner operator, you make more money. Usually, you make more money per week. You know. Now you got to remember, some of that extra money you make, you got to put aside for things that will come up and bite you here later on. You know, need some new tires, or a mechanical thing breaks on the truck. And mechanic shops are expensive nowadays. So yeah, you got to keep in mind with all that stuff while you're an owner operator. But where I noticed where the owner operator thing really makes a big difference is when it comes to tax time. You can save so much money on taxes, and you keep that money in your pocket and you can invest it in other things instead of paying Uncle Sam all the time. But later in life, it bites you when it comes to Social Security. So I've been trying really hard to money that I didn't have to pay to Uncle Sam because of, you know, the taxes, doing the taxes the way they do. I try to put that money and roll that into something else, and because I won't get a very big Social Security payment, I try to have investments in other things to balance that out. So overall, I could put all my money into Uncle Sam and get a large Social Security check, but wouldn't have any money left over for investments. So it's either you have a lot of Social Security and very little investments, or low Social Security and higher investments. You try to balance that out, and it ain't easy. It ain't easy, you know. So, can you think of anything else I need to talk about before I go show them the bus? No. Okay. All right. Well, let's go look at the bus. Where are we at on here? 30 minutes into the video. Finally getting out to the bus. So let's turn around and walk over here. And we had it. Here's our Starlink right here. You know, I signed up for Starlink here a few months ago, and that thing is blazing, super blazing fast. And I got it out here. Here's the shop, and there's the bus. And you'd think, well, there's a big metal thing here, a big metal thing there. Sorry about the wind, but you would think that would block it, but it does fine. It does perfectly fine. And what I've noticed about Starlink, and I just run the cord right up here into the window, and it's over by the TV. So we'll come up in here. There's the bus. Looking good. It actually looks like a home now. You know, it actually looks nice. So, see, you got the TV on right now. We've got, I think I got Mythbusters on. But there's the couch that came out of the house. Now, somebody made a comment about that pillow. Well, Pam must have put that pillow on there because it's so nice with all the horses and stuff. No, that's my pillow. It came with the couch, and this is my old couch from my apartment years ago. And, yeah. So, yeah, that's my stuff. So, and then she's got a few things here on the dash. You know, got a bag there. Oh, there we go. There we go. Just switched over. Yeah, I know, John. So, yeah, as soon as I got in the bus, I lost my cell signal because I had the phone set to cell signal like a dummy. And it dawned on me, why don't I want a good strong signal? As soon as I switched it over to Starlink, boom, it popped back on. So we are good now. We can use that Starlink for these live streams. So, all right, so we'll sit you right here. And I'll walk through the bus. All right. So, like I said, got the TV. It's mounted on some pipes. Pipe fitter type pipe that you buy, the flange and threaded steel pipe. Depot. Brought it out here and mounted the flange. Put a cap on it and put those two posts right here on the mat on the wood. And then on the back of the TV it has the clamps. You can, you know, mount the TV to a TV mount. I've got little clips on there to hold that tight and holds the TV up so it can't go anywhere, okay? It's nice and solid. And then I've got stuff underneath here. You know, you got my Xbox and all this kind of stuff under there. Got the couch over here. It's nice at night. Just sit right here. I need to make a little stool here for my feet. But I can just sit here, get my feet up on a stool. Right now I'm using a 5-gallon bucket. Got my laptop. Get over here and, you know, use my laptop and watch TV and spend the evening here. That's just kind of like we did at the house. And in the kitchen, got the coffee maker. Got some baskets here with you know, different stuff in there. My coffee. We've got a Berkey water filter, so the water that comes through the faucet, we can put it in there and make nice clean water for the coffee maker, for making iced tea, whatever. Okay. Got a bottle of wine that was left over at the house. We're gonna drink that up some night. This is all food storage up here and all food storage up here. But we also have food storage in the drawers down here. Okay, this is all the canned goods, the heavier stuff is all down in these bottom drawers here. This one's really heavy. It's got all, you know, pork and beans, chili, corn, you know, all that different kind of canned goods down there. Right here is silverware. Right here is plates, you know, paper plates and regular plates. Okay, just a few other things, some cooking measuring cups, stuff like that, right? The third one, this here's some skillets, some, you know, small bowls and skillets. Then we get down to, this is a bigger bowl here. This is bigger mixing bowl type stuff. And then down at the very bottom, this is your cast iron pans and your bigger, deeper pots that you can cook in. So that's all your dishes right here, and there's your cooking utensils. On the left side, this is junk drawer, Reynolds wrap, you know, that, just, you get the idea, kitchen stuff. Okay, why isn't that closing? Dish towels, cups, you know, your like Yeti cups, and I got some spices there. Those spices will eventually go up on this wall here. I'm going to make a rack, a little spice rack to put on here. And then the very bottom is empty. That was an empty drawer. We still have one empty drawer. Over here, oh, empty drawer. Right here, empty drawer. Right here, this is all kinds of stuff like your Lipton soup mixes, your macaroni and cheese, stovetop, just all kinds of, you know, just we store our food in different places, okay? Different ways. This is the really big one. This is where we put the air fryer and the Instapot down in this big drawer. It's a double, I get 2 drawer spaces, but it's just one huge drawer, okay? The curtains work really nice. At night, when the lights are on inside, you can see in the light, but you can't really make figures out. Pam can be walking around in here. I can be out there and I can see that she's standing there, but I can't really tell much about it. You know, it's just a silhouette kind of thing. But they're pretty good. You know, easy. They look good. They match and all that. So, all right, back here. Let's go back into the bedroom. There's some her closet. We switched for some reason. I don't remember exactly why. I was going to be on the driver's side and she was going to be on the passenger side, and it worked out. We switched for some reason. I don't know why. But here's my closet. You know, clothes and everything. There's a clothes hamper underneath there, and this is she's got all her things like shoes and whatnot down below, and this is all her, just some of her clothes, and she's got a lot more stuff underneath the bed. And I've got some clothes underneath the bed, and there's more storage. Remember, there's 2 water tanks over here. There's a 65, and a 65, and a 65. And then there's nothing right here because of the fuel inlet coming in from the side of the bus. The fuel inlet going to the fuel tank is right there. And I couldn't get a 4th tank in there. Otherwise, I'd have put 4 tanks in here. But I got 195 gallons of water underneath the beds, okay? And back over in that corner of the bed, that's where the water pump is, and all the hoses coming through the wall over here to the kitchen. All right, let's shorten it up here. All right, come back. Oh, we got these curtains here. Forgot to show you the curtains. We can slide the curtain over there and give a little bit of privacy, whatever. But mainly just kind of when I'm watching TV late at night, she comes back here and goes to bed. It's a little bit of sound, but mostly light, blocking light. There's Pam's bed. She made it all up pretty for y'all, you know. Nice pillows and everything. Now, she sleeps with her head on this end. I sleep with my head on this end. I like to look out the window. I thought she was going to do this up here. And she says, no, she wants her head on this end. Okay. So, then back here, we got storage totes, and we got food storage in these. Let's see. These 2 have food storage. That one's empty. These 2 are still empty, and this one here has some stuff in it. And then how to put. And then there's all the electronics, the solar stuff. And then here's the bathroom. There's the toilet, working exactly like planned. And here's the shower, working exactly like planned. We both took showers this morning. I used about 2 gallons of water. She used about 3 gallons of water. You know, she has rinsed more hair and stuff like that. But here's these shelves I built right here with different things in there. She did her makeup and stuff like that right there. And I've got my... This is all her stuff, okay? And that little tray right there, and this right here, this is my stuff. And then all this other stuff is community stuff. You know, the scale, you know, clippers up there in the center. That's hair clippers. I guess that's mine. But, you know, anyway, women have to have so much more stuff than men. So it's just the way it is. So, and then under here's that engine you guys were asking about. Somebody asked about. Flip this little lever right here. There's the engine underneath. And it's a, like I said, 5.9 Cummins 12 valve mechanical. Okay. So, and we still need to clean. All these windows need to be cleaned. So there's a sticker right there that used to say emergency exit. So I got to get all that glue off of there. But, you know, just clean. The dash is still dusty from construction. We've just been so stinking busy doing stuff, you know. So that's it. I guess we will. Oh, here's the Starlink right here. Okay, the Starlink antenna. Okay, it comes over. It adjusts. You know, you set it out there, and then it flattens out and moves and twists and rotates. Finds out the optimal place for it to point. Okay, it's pretty much pointing straight north. That cable comes over and up into the window here, over to this router, and then from that router, this power cable comes up underneath there. Plugs into that outlet under there. Once you get it plugged in, turned on, as soon as you plug it in, it turns itself on. Let's see, flip you around here. And as soon as you plug it in as soon as you plug it in, it turns itself on. And then you use whatever item. It's hot Wi-Fi. At that point, it's ready to go. Easiest setup I've ever encountered. I didn't have to turn anything on. Just plug it in. Boom, it was done. Didn't have to go into a website. Didn't have, you know, when they send it to you, it's activated. It's ready to go. So get on my phone, where my phone's out there. But you get on the phone and go to Wi-Fi, and it'll connect. Your phone will connect, which is what we're doing right now, is connecting to that Wi-Fi. Remember, out here I've got a kind of a questionable cell phone. It works, but it works okay. But when I'm doing these streams, for some reason it blocks up. And I think what it is, it's just there's a tower over there and a tower over there, and we're kind of like right in the middle of the 2 towers. So it switches back and forth between towers, and I think that's what causes the thing. But as soon as when it buffered a little bit ago, when I got into the bus, it's a metal cage basically, and I lost my cell signal. So I'm thinking, well, I have to wait for this to come back. And it dawned on me, I've got Wi-Fi here. So I went on to the settings on my phone and switched it over to Wi-Fi. And as soon as I did that, man, it popped right back on. And I don't have my phone right now with me, but I show you. So I tried it last night. After Pam went to bed, I'm sitting here watching TV, and I'm just curious. I check it every so often. And it kind of depends on where the satellites are. And if there's a satellite right above us here, okay, it comes in strong, very strong, like 198 last night. You know, when I happened to test it, 198 megs download speed. I mean, it's just unthought of fast. I mean, the meter, it pegs the meter and just keeps going. I mean, it's just unbelievably fast. But when satellite isn't right above you, because they move across the sky pretty fast. They're only in view for about 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. And when it's gone, another one comes along, okay? And then when it's gone, maybe another one comes along this direction, you know? And when they're real close right above you, man, they're super, super fast. But then when there's nothing right close by, there's one way over there and there's one way over there, it might not be near as fast. It might only be 17 megabytes, which is more than enough for, you know, what we're doing, you know, TV and some computers. But if you wanted to, like, out in quartzsite and let a whole bunch of people sign on to your website or to your Wi-Fi, it might bog it down at that point. So, but yeah, I'm just really impressed with that Starlink stuff. And the only thing, I actually got the email here a while back and asked me to do a survey about it. Well, I hadn't plugged it in for so long, so I kept saving that email until I actually got it working, because I used it I had it for about 2 months before I actually turned it on. I turned it on last Wednesday, first time I used it, once we came out here that night. And anyway, they wanted a customer, you know, satisfaction survey or whatever you want to call it. And so I went ahead, I did that this morning and everything, and just, you know, they asked questions, how you like it, what are you using it for, and what. And I'm very satisfied with it so far. I said, what if anything would you change about your Starlink? I says, the price, the monthly price, you know, bring it down. But it's 135 right now. It's going to go up. I think in June it's supposed to go up to 150 or something like that for the RV version. Now the home version is about 110, I think, and it stays fine. But yeah, it's we're sitting out in the shop watching TV in the evening, you know, and because I don't want the dogs up here in the bus. The dogs aren't going with us on the bus. I don't know what she's planned on that, but so for the evening when the wind's still nice, you know, and everything, right, you know, afternoon, late evening, early evening, we go out there and sit in the shop. You know, so I smoke my pipe and we watch the TV on the big screen with the dogs there, you know. And then later on, about 9, 10 o'clock, she'll get up and come in here and watch TV for maybe an hour and then go to bed. I get up about 10 or so, come in here, continue watching TV while she's already went to bed. I stay up till midnight or 1 o'clock. So that's just kind of our schedule. It's been like that for a long time. So I'm out there watching TV in the shop, and I'll notice every now and again the TV goes down from a really nice, clear, high definition. It will derate down to like a 720p or something like that, or even a 480p, because it's not as crisp and clear. And that's because the satellites aren't right above us. They're way over there and way over there somewhere, and you're not getting a really good, strong signal. You might only be getting, you know, 4 or 5 megabytes download at the time. It only lasts for maybe 20 or 30 seconds, and then it comes back up to full 4K TV, you know, resolution. Well, I don't know if it's 4K on that. We're using Hulu. I think it's probably just 1080p on Hulu. But yeah, it comes back in. So there's every now and again you'll watch the TV and it'll kind of flicker, just not flicker, but just kind of derate, and it gets a little bit out of focus, a little fuzzier than like old TV used to be. And then right back, you know, a few seconds later, it's right back to regular, you know, 1080p, and looking good. So, all right, honesty. Here's the honesty part here. About a month and a half ago, when I came back from quartzsite, and she had her house up for sale, and people were coming over to the house, and I'm sitting there looking at the bus and thinking, I've still got to do this and this and this and this, and it wasn't coming together as well as planned, and it didn't feel pretty. Does that make sense? I had this thing in my mind of what it was going to look like, and it wasn't looking that way. It was still looking like a big white box with a couple things sitting in it, you know, and tools all over the place and sawdust everywhere, you know. And I'm thinking, man, this isn't going to be as nice as I was hoping. And it's funny, once you move in and you start putting a few baskets here and a bread box over there, just the little touches of home, you know, the TV's on and the rugs on the floor, and you know, just the little stuff, the little tins, the baskets up on top of the refrigerator, you know, just those little things that warm it up. Does that make sense? It doesn't feel like a sterile box anymore. So I'm glad that it transformed. Once we moved in and everything, it transformed, and it feels like a house now. It feels like a home, you know, whereas a month and a half ago, it felt like a construction site, and I was thinking, man, this is not what I had hoped, it's not what I had envisioned when I started to build this bus, or before I even bought the bus, what I had in mind. But like I said, once you move in, you get a little bit of color in here, because it was all white for so long, you know. But I started putting a little color here, got the wood counters. I love these wood counters, man. Them things are beautiful. It's really, you know, finally made the beds. That made a huge difference. Just putting the covers on, you know, comforters on the bed, rather than just having an empty square box out back there. And eventually put mattresses in, but I just folded them up against the wall so they wouldn't get dust and dirt on them. But finally folding them down, making the bed, putting the pillows in, putting the curtain up, you know, just the little things like that that make it homey, make it feel complete, you know. And I'm quite happy with it. Okay, we'll get with Pam in the next video maybe. Like I said, she's just busy right now and didn't want to be on you know, didn't want to do a lot of filming, talking, whatever. But maybe I'll get her on here and get her, after we've been in it for a couple 3 weeks, get her opinion or impressions or whatever, and see if when I said, hey, I'll build this bus, is this what you had in mind, and did I do good enough, or did I let her way down? I don't know. So we'll see if we can't squeeze that out of her next time. But for now, like I said, I'm real happy with it. The weather has been cooperating real well. We moved, it was nice, perfect weather right now. It's, you know, spring. No thunderstorms. We had thunderstorms before we moved, but since we've been out here, it's been a picture perfect days every day. A little windy a couple days, but not bad, and a good stiff breeze, put it that way. But the temperatures have been perfect, and I know that'll change here in another month or so. It'll start getting hot. It's Texas, but so far, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm very, very satisfied. I guess that's it. So, with that, hope you all enjoyed, and really sorry I haven't had a video out for a couple weeks and everything, but sorry I haven't had a video out for a couple weeks, but it's just been super busy moving and stuff like that. Oh, some of the other things. A couple other things. It probably won't show up too well during the day, but of course, I got this light right here. This is right above me right here. This light. That little LED disc light, and it runs off a switch right over there. We'll turn that back off, and I got another switch here that turns a porch light on outside, so it really lights that area up really well. And I've got another one back in the back that lights that up. But since we moved in, okay, a couple things I've done. Just last night I put this up, and the night before I put this up. But check this out. Look at them lights. And then I didn't plan a switch for this side for some reason, so I got a switch right there. But the lights, it's rope LED lights. It comes along the bottom here, and I drilled a hole, and I came up the inside and across the top, so it lights everything up in here, lights this all up really well. At night, it actually looks really nice at night. But right here, light, you know, switch comes over here, up through the wall, and around over to here. Run it through these trims all the way over here, drilled a hole, went up inside, and all the way back across over here. So it lights all this stuff up inside the cabinet. It's really nice. So I'm real happy with that. So, so yeah, like I said, oh, the water system for taking showers. Took the first shower this morning in it, because we've been taking showers at the house. Every day we get out here and get moving and get sweaty and everything. And then before we leave the house, we'll take a quick shower and then come out here and spend the evening. the next day get up and run around, do all these different things, and then later in the afternoon before we leave that house and come back here, we'll take a shower. So we've been, you know, using the house for a shower. Well, they had she hired a cleaner to come over and really clean and scrub the house down really well the other day, yesterday actually, and didn't want to dirty up the shower with water spots and stuff, you know. She, you know, scrubbed all the shower down, don't want to really mess that up, so we decided not to take any shower there yesterday. So this morning got here and took the very first shower with the in the bus, and it's the same exact system that I have in the van. Same exact system they have in the van. It's just a bigger tank. I've got a it's like an instant water heater. It's just a regular, like a small RV water heater. In the van is a 1.5 gallon water tank, and it heats that 1.5 gallons, and it's enough for me. It works fine for me. I take a real quick shower, I get wet, and I shut the water off. I lather up, and then I turn the water on, and I rinse the lather off, okay? And I use maybe 1.5 gallons of water. Well, I've got, you know, as much water as in the van, but I only use about 1.5 gallons. Like I said, and as you're, you know, only 1.5 gallon tank, as you pull a 1/2 gallon out, 1/2 gallon of cold water comes in, and the temperature goes down a little bit. So while I rinse myself, or get myself wet, there's nice and warm water, but the temperature goes down pretty quick in that thing. And then while I'm lathering up, the 1/2 gallon of water that came in, that's being heated up. So now once I get ready to rinse off, that water's warmed up. It's all, you know, quite warm now. So I got 1.5 gallons to rinse myself off with. And use about 1 gallon or so, and you can feel the temperature change pretty quick. So that's 1.5 gallon tank. In here I've got a 4 gallon tank, okay? I did that for her because of the hair and all this other stuff. It was dead cold this morning. I mean, not cold, but the water was just room ambient temperature in the tank. That switch on the wall, can't read because there's something on the screen. The message is on the screen. But on this wall right here, that switch right there, the one on this side, the switch over there, that's the switch for the water heater. You flip that switch and it turns the water heater on, and it'll heat the water. And it took 18 minutes for the inverter. You can tell by watching the phone using my solar system. I can see how much. It was early in the morning. I was getting about 700 watts of solar from the sun, you know, from the solar panels was coming into the batteries. When I flipped that on, it was like a negative 800. So the difference 800 and 700 is 1,500 watts is what that heater was pulling. And it took 18 minutes to get up to temperature and then shut off. So it takes 18 minutes to warm the heater up. While you're doing that, you're getting ready, getting your soap and your shampoo and, you know, getting undressed and whatever. And you go in there. By the time we had to wait a couple minutes, but I wanted to wait until the heater turned off, and you could tell because the solar wasn't drawing the power anymore. So it took 18 minutes to heat up. I took a shower first because she wasn't quite ready. I jumped in there and took a shower first, and I used about 2 gallons of water, okay, and had hot water the whole time. I never really noticed any temperature variance or nothing. Like I said, used about 1/2 gallon to get myself wet, lathered up, and, you know, turn the faucet off, and then lather up, and then turn the faucet back on and rinse off. And after I got out, while I was drying off and everything, she was getting ready. She was getting her shampoos and everything together. I said, hold on, I want to see how long it takes to heat it back up. So it took, from the time I got out of the bus, or out of the shower, it took about another 5 minutes back up to full temperature again. And that temperature is adjustable. There's a knob on the heater down underneath the sink. There's a knob that can make it a little bit hotter if you wanted, and take 20 or 22 minutes to heat up. Or I can make it, you know, take less time. But where I've got it set, I think it's around 100 degrees or so, roughly. I haven't measured it, but it's probably somewhere around 100 degrees. And it's just about right. But it took about 18 minutes to heat up. I used about 2 gallons, and she used about 3 gallons, a total of about 5. And the reason I know that is when we got done, I've got the tub there. I've got, you know, there's no drain in it. It just fills the tub up as you use it. So you get done with the shower, you got to take this tub and dump it out. So I went and grabbed a 5-gallon bucket and stuck it down there and poured it into the bucket to measure. And it came right up to the top, about 1 inch to the top. So it took out right 5 gallons. So You know, so right at 5 for 2 people, 5 gallons of water. Now, taking a shower at home in a regular house, regular residential house, you've got unlimited water. You got a huge water tank. You've got really hot water, 130, 140 degree water, and you got cold water, and you temper it. You can take a pretty much, infinitely long shower. Well, I did some measuring on her house back years ago. I got a pitcher that was a 1 gallon pitcher, I think, and I turned the faucet on and stuck it, underneath the shower head, and timed how long it took to fill that gallon up. Okay, so ready, click, and filled it up. And once it got full, click. Okay, that's how long it took for 1 gallon to come out of that shower head. And then I timed showers. I jump in there, you turn it on, you start a top wash. You go in there, take your normal shower, however long you want. I usually took about a 10 shower, shower, cleaned up, I also shaved and everything while I was in the shower. And it took me about 10 minutes. Pam stuff, a lot more to rinse. It was taking, what was it? For a 10-minute shower, it was taking about 30 gallons of water to take a 10-minute shower. So coming out here, it's a different, from home, you have a 10-minute shower and use 30 or so gallons, 35 gallons maybe, something like that, for a shower at home. Whereas you come out here, you don't want to waste that water. You don't just let it run and run and run. So you get wet, then you shut the water off and you lather up, do your hair and whatever. And then you turn the water back on, rinse the soap off. And now with her, she probably had a little bit more to do because of conditioner or something, So, but yeah, I was I was real pleased that we only used 5 gallons of water between the two of us to take showers. And so everything should work out pretty well. Like I said, 195 gallons, we should be able to sit someplace for quite some time and not worry about water. And so all's good, I think. All's good. Now, we've used water in the sink, stuff like that. Now, when I'm out someplace, whatever, I'll probably just let it run out on the ground. Right here, we're going to be here for several weeks, a month or whatever. I don't want it running out right out by the side of the bus, because there's no holding tank. It just runs out on the ground. So I went and got a 5-gallon bucket and set it under there. And we're using about 2 gallons a day. Because every morning I get up and I go over and grab the bucket and take it out in the pasture and scatter it out in the grass. And it's less than half full. Okay. One day it was about 3 gallons in there, but most days and that was the day we were cleaning up all that stuff from that chicken, that fryer. But most days I've noticed we use about 2 gallons of water for the kitchen area. So do the math. 5 gallons. Let's say you took a shower every day. 5 gallons for shower. And to 7 or 8 gallons per day, 195 gallons divided by 7 or 8 gallons. We can last quite a while, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, thinking what else? I think that's about enough. I guess we'll talk to you another time down the line somewhere. Like I said, I'm very happy with the Starlink system. Very happy with the bus. It feels warm and feels like a home now compared to what it did about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it just still felt hollow and empty. But just moving a few things in here makes a world of difference, Putting down a rug, I mean, it's just, it made all the difference in the world from my point of view. So I'm happy with it. And we'll see how long we do this. Go travel around and do this stuff for a while. There's no question whether Pam's going to buy another house. She'll buy another house. The question is when. Next week or 10 years from now. It's just, that's the question on my mind, is how long is she going to be in the bus and whatever. How long is she going to say, or before she says, I'm tired of doing this, I want to go buy a house again. And hopefully the idea was she sold her house, still got good money out of it. The market peaked last year. Probably around June last year is when the market peaked, and it's slowly been coming down. And we're kind of got the idea, we'll live in the bus for a year, 2, 3 years, maybe, whatever. and the market will have really dropped like it did in '08, and maybe we can go in and buy another house much cheaper again, you know, and or even a nicer home, you know, whatever. So, but that's up to her. That's up to her. That's all depends on when she wants to buy and when she. I think I'll be satisfied living this thing pretty much good. But with her, I think she'll probably want to move into a house, but I just don't know when. Is that going to be a week, or is it going to be 10 years from now? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. So with that, I'm done. I just keep talking. So y'all be good. Take care, and God. And things are going good at the Sasnaks. We got to come up with Sasnak Ranch. So with that, y'all be good. Take care. Okay. Bye bye.